Hi, my name is Hamza Hassan and this is my coursework demo for the network game phase 1. I'll be showing you the different multiplayer features I've implemented in Unity using Photon. So that's including like the lobby, lobby management, spawning, movement, the shooting, the health, score, and the win conditions. Basically what to win, the threshold that I've set. So the first thing we're going to do is I've already built and run. This is the first one I've built and run. So basically here we're in this lobby scene. So here the player can enter their nickname. Here there's an auto-generated name given anyway, but the player can enter their name, I don't know, player 1. So then the player would log in. And with this, the player can then, after it loads, it can create a room, join a room, or list a room. So I've implemented a multiplayer lobby, if you can see here. So in multiplayer lobby, and let me just find it. So here, this is the create room method. So here with Photon network, so I've implemented room creation using the Photon network create room, and essentially the Photon network join room is in the room entry. So this essentially helps join the selected room and also create a specific room. And also only the master client can start the game, which ensures proper control basically, and I'll show you that after. So here is basically only the client B basically client A can start again. So for example, if here I create a room for test 1, create room, so I've joined that room. Then if I do player 2, this is the client B, player 2, we'll name it player 2, and then we could either do join random room or list rooms. Join random room, and there. So this player 2, this client B can't start the game. However, the other client can. So the other client can. So look, they both spawn. Moving on to the next part is they both spawn in essentially in the multiplayer scene. Each player spawned at a unique location. So I used in the multiplayer level manager. The multiplayer level manager, I used the Photon action actor number. Where is it? Sorry. Yeah. So Photon actor number to assign spawn points with the formula actor number spawn points length. Okay, this prevents players from overlapping. So when they join, because one initial issue that I had was that they were joining on top of each other. So you can see here that they join in 2 separate locations in both screens. Okay, now in terms of movement, so this is client A. So you can see it moves around. The movement's a little bit stiff, but you can move. You can move and you can shoot. So the movement is handled locally, and but only the player that owns the Photon view can actually but only the player that owns the Photon view. So it's handled locally. So I can check the Photon view is mine, so that the input only affects the local player itself. So let's just go to multiplayer. We're multiplayer. So here, as you can see, the player movement also uses the Unity's rigid body with move position, and the rotation is instant. So it uses Coultonian look rotation, and rotations rotations instant using the anyway. This ensures that the movement's kind of smooth, even though this is the same kind of method that I used in the normal single player script. It is still a bit rigid and stiff. Now moving on to regarding the shooting wise. Sorry. So regarding shooting wise, when you press when it is synchronized using the RPC call, which I'll show you now. So here is the RPC call, and here's the fire method, and essentially that way all clients can see the same bullet being fired. So client A would see client B's bullet being fired, and essentially the bullet prefab, so the multiplayer bullet prefab has a rigid body for velocity, and also the script can detect collisions. So yeah, so moving on to health and damage. The health and damage part, sorry, the movement. As you can see, the health part goes down. Okay, let's try the different clients. Sorry, it's my Wi-Fi as well. If I look on the other screen, the client B is synchronized, so it both shows game over. So and it shows that the health is down. So all clients can basically see the correct health values. When a bullet collides, it can call the that method, which is the take damage method. Uh, and if the health reaches 0, then essentially it would add score. You can see here, sorry, you can see here that player 2 has a score 4, player 1 is of 0. So it shows for both screens. So if health reaches 0, the player would then respawn after the first kill, and then it would respawn at the spawn point. Basically it will respawn with full health, and then this shows both damage and the respawn works. So then regarding the scoring winning part of it, essentially here you can see player has 1, player 2 has 1, the specific player has 1. So the kills are basically tracked. Here you can see them above here, player 1, player 2. They're tracked using the add score and get score. In multiplayer, as you can see here, when a player reaches the maximum kill, the game essentially gives the message of, sorry, I'm on the wrong script. Yeah, so when the player reaches the max kills, it would give off the player's name, nickname, plus the player has 1. So that's, and I was going to implement players lost, but then, yeah, but it would show the player has 1, which it shows here basically. And also regarding, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, this is regarding take damage also. The add score is here. So it would add the score. So after you kill the player, it will add 1. It will go in increments of 1. And basically, just to summarize, let me just leave. Just to summarize, so look, so just say, for example, we'll test out the different buttons. So same player will log in, join random room. Of course, then this is the random room where it just creates a new room because there wasn't a room created. List rooms. Let me do an example for here. So leave room. This player to create a room, and then it will join a room. Let's see, create a room there. Let me go on other client. Join random room. Actually, no, leave room. List rooms. So